You can't touch it.
You can touch it.
Oh, please. Which one of us do you think is most likely? And I think the answer. Let me rephrase. Which one of us do you think would be the most likely to get sucked up into a cult?
Look, I know what chat's gonna say.
I don't think it's you. I actually don't think it's you.
Yeah, you don't think? I think chat's gonna. Yeah, look, there it is. There's the flood of it.
Oh no.
But
Mathis?
I don't know.
Mal?
Why Mathis? No, they're saying my name mostly.
Nick, Austin.
I don't know if I even have a good defense for it. Maybe I just will.
I mean,
Dan?
like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, kind of, I feel like Dan.
I
actually.
also
like,
think Dan's here, but I do. I don't want to spoil the Fortnite videos that are coming out, but we did have like a 20-minute discussion with Dan where he tried to tell us. He's like, okay, let's say you took a gallon jug of milk, and then you filled one with water and one with sand. Which one would be heavier? And everybody in unison was like, the fucking sand would be heavier. And he's like, but it's the same.
Are you talking iron or feathers, dude?
It's the same amount. It's the same amount of sand and water.
Is Dan doing a little bit?
That's actually pretty funny.
And then we tried to give him the question of like, okay, what if you had like a gallon of helium and a gallon of sand, or a gallon of concrete? Which one would be heavier? And he told us that helium is not physical. You can't touch it. So as a result, you can't actually lift it. Like, it doesn't exist.
It isn't physical.
Yeah, he just
Helium isn't physical. Yeah.
Helium is physical. Yeah.
What are other
I think
non-physical
the
things?
the term that he's looking for is possibly tangible.
I mean, it
Not
is
physical. It's physical.
Dan, don't go.
No, I don't like honing in, but my name was brought into a scientific discussion. It's actually not physical.
What do you mean it's not physical?
I said it. Nick, this is what I said to Ryan. Next PAX, hand me some helium. If you can, it's physical. If you can't, and it's not real, case in point, have a good show, guys.
Well, he can't hand it to you, so you're right.
I can hand him helium.
How?
I would get a tank full of
You'd have
helium.
No, you'd be handing the container over to him.
No, I mean, I could put helium in my hands and then pass it to him.
No, you can't.
You absolutely can.
How are you keeping the helium in
You
your
would
hand?
lose a lot of the helium.
Over,
You'd lose a lot of the helium in the transfer, but you could still hand him some helium.
Maybe no helium would be there.
I worry about you guys sometimes. You know that, like,
okay,
gas.
well, don't
Sorry.
lump me in here, right?
Gas is still matter. Like, it's still, there's atoms of helium that exist in planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could cup your hands upside down and trap it as it rises.
Well,
It would definitely slip through your fingers, but if you did it fast enough, you might get lucky.
Here's a good little test. If you boil some water on the stove,
Yeah.
The water will become steam. Correct?
That's correct.
Making it by that definition not physical.
No longer is it physical.
However,
yeah.
If you pulled up the pot lid, then you got little droplets of water. What happens there? It's become physical again.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's not steam. That's water then. That's physical.
This is scary.
The steam can't be physical because it's not water.
So yeah, I would say Dan and Nick apparently are pretty good answers to the question.
Oh, you reminded me. I got a voicemail from Dan Giesling today.
No.
I'm guessing I'm probably playing that in a
Always a
minute.
good time.
I gotta finish this run and I'll get my phone. He has a good point, though, about things being physical.
No, he doesn't. I guarantee he doesn't.
I wanna get physical.
I don't think he opens it with the traditional greeting. Let's see.
Are you playing it right now?
I'm about to, yeah.
Okay.
This is Dan. He's like, hey, I'm just sitting here driving, thinking about what went down yesterday. And, you know, the other hosts are acting on a paradigm or plane of existence where they've been indoctrinated with the science
Oh no.
that that helium is a physical thing. And I just want to say thank you. You know, as we, guys like you and I, we go against the grain, and there's consequences for that. But in the midst of the darkness and the pinholes of light that come through, it's good to know that there's an individual like yourself in the mountains of northern New York that knows the truth about helium. Hope all's well. Stay wavy.
As soon as he said indoctrinated, I knew that there's no way this is gonna go well.
Oh, classic.
Get another good voicemail.
Yeah, that's quality.
Why do hydraulics work?
What do you mean?
Like it's just water moving around inside, but they can move mountains.
It's usually oil.
Do you mean like car hydraulics?
Just like a piston with a rod in it that moves via water.
Like water has mass.
Yeah, but how can it push something heavier than it? Exactly.
No, I did like a Jim Halpert. Like I looked at a camera that doesn't exist when he said that.
Okay, no, but I have a real question. This is like this is not like. Okay, you have an empty milk jug that holds a gallon of water. Okay. And I'm not being funny.
Already flooded.
I just need to know.
So an empty bottle of water that holds a gallon of water.
No.
It has to be a milk jug?
No, you have an empty 1 gallon milk jug, okay?
Yeah.
If you put water in it in one and sand in another, what weighs more?
The sand.
For sure?
100%.
Why?
Sand has more density.
Sand is probably like 50 times more dense
But
than
it's
water.
the same
Not
amount.
50, but
It's the same volume, but it's not the same mass.
But so it's the same amount.
It's the same volume.
So what am I missing here?
You taught high school students.
I did.
That's terrifying. You know, like mass is a product of volume and density.
Sure.
You say sure, but I worry that you're just
mean,
trying
it's
to
just
get me
not-
to say the
Like,
next sentence.
all you
Yeah.
have to do, Dan, put it under a microscope or like a neutron microscope. You see a lot of empty space
That's a much simpler definition.
in between.
See, what I was
stuff.
gonna say is that one thing's heavier, but your description of putting it under a neutron microscope is substantially more accessible.
Well, I mean, like you can actually see the density at that
Yeah.
level. Like I can understand some person being like, "Well, sand and styrofoam both
Oh,
have
there's a gnome.
solid to me, right?"
Send them the hell.
Well, you know what's a great example of it is think about if you have that 1 gallon milk jug.
Yeah.
What's heavier? If you filled it up with helium or if you filled it up with concrete?
But helium isn't physical.
What on
It
earth?
is
are you
though.
talking about?
I mean, it's physical in theory.
It's a
but,
gas.
But not
In
really.
theory. No, it exists in reality. Helium exists.
Yeah, but you can't touch it.
You can
can.
absolutely touch it.
No.
Yeah.
You can grab helium in your hand and squeeze it.
Yes.
Well,
Nah, it's a
You
false
wouldn't
Sort of
you wouldn't
can.
know that you're touching it, but yes, you
so
can.
that's what I'm talking about. You
So
live in-
what
you
is
live in-
how do you get helium to put it in a balloon?
You
What does
live
it
in a
come
shadow realm.
No, it comes in a tank. It's not, they don't send someone through a
Doesn't come in a
portal into
tank.
an alternate
someone
dimension.
puts it in the tank.
That's what well, that means you have to be able to act on it, which means you can touch it.
Nah, you
What if
can't.
It's not like they put someone on a tether and send them through hell and then they come back with like a water gun full of helium.
Well, what if they do?
I mean, I'd pay a lot more for helium in that case.
No, I understand the science behind it, but it doesn't. You can't touch it. I don't care.
You can.
You can touch
What
it
do
if
you
it's
mean
in
you
a
can't
balloon.
touch it?
You can't touch it.
You can touch it.
So you've held helium in your hands before.
Dan,
No, you
Dan,
can't
Dan,
hold
Dan.
it.
Dan.
Okay, that's what I'm
Dan.
llama,
talking.
llama. Look at it.
Ooh, that's our first llamas.
Hey, you,
Right here.
Justin.
What? You were running to it.
I thought you were saying malfa, and that's why.
I'll give you the honors of opening him.
Well, I think we'll share some of the goodies with the
No,
rest of the
we
class.
will, don't worry.
All right.
Got a little campfire. Got that fat.
All
stack
right,
of wood.
I'll give you another example of two things you can hold, even though you can also hold helium, and I refuse to
Okay.
even at all
Would-
acquiesce to the idea.
The next,
that
the next
No,
packs,
wait,
the
wait.
next packs, hand me helium.
That's
at the
not.
next-
That doesn't
There's
mean
some
it's
wooden brick
not
for you.
real as you called it.
I
Like,
didn't say it's not
Here,
real.
Ryan.
I said you can't hold
Ryan
it.
and Dan.
Yeah.
Take a stack.
Take this wooden brick.
okay, I'll take the wood.
Dan, you get the
Would you like some brick, Dan?
I'd like to hold things
All
that I
right,
can
Dan,
build with.
hold up your hand right now for me.
Yes.
Wave it around really fast.
Okay.
What do you feel?
Nothing.
That's not true. That's like
Well, here's the-
70% nitrogen and some oxygen and
Did Dan actually think that helium wasn't physical?
I never know with that guy, to be honest with you.
I think that Dan is genuine like 99% of the time.
That's how he gets you.
Yeah. You know, you're probably right.
You've been
I think
gone
it's
for
more
a
like a 70% of the time. Often, but not always.
I think.
What do you
No,
think?
there's no way that I could say that without sounding like a complete asshole, actually.
Okay.
So never mind. How much is a physical trainer? Or a personal trainer?
like-
Our trainer's even physical.
Oh, here we go.
Personal trainer.
I still got to talk to Dan about that one. That one's just.
It makes me very mad.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever convince him?
I don't know, but like 5% of chat is on his side. They're like, in Dan's defense, helium isn't physical.
Oh my god.
It isn't.
Oh Jesus.
Pulling the sails down? But how are they gonna catch the wind?
We're gonna fly. Using the heat from the fires as a hot air balloon.
We're floating! The heat from the fires! We're actually floating!
Yo, we still should steer if possible.
And we're stuck.
Not for long. Stay with the boat.
Can't believe it. You just made a huge sky lantern.
That's not how that works. Next, you're gonna tell me you don't think helium's physical. 1 second, boy. There's myriad hack silver. Don't even start with me that saying, well, in reality, helium isn't physical. In what world?
On this bridge. Sure I can't help?
I said stay on the boat.
Staying on the boat.
I'm using physical as another word for solid now. Hey!